we're on.
You win some, you lose more.
New mascots, shockingly long tribunal deliberations, and everything else. It's the midweek madness here on the AFL Today Show. And of course, I'm your host, Alex Donnelly, joined as always by the man over on the far right. His team are unbeaten. It's the far left if you're watching. It's Leo Mullaly. Hello, Leo.
Hello, Alex. Hello, Stats Guy.
Hello.
I'm feeling good today.
As mentioned by Leo, the aforementioned Stats Guy, a.k.a. Lee McAllion's here. I don't know if he's flat or feeling bad, but anyway, Jackson Archer got suspended. How are you feeling, Stats Guy?
Obviously flat. I think he's actually a pretty important part to our team, but yeah, I'm flat. Come on. And North as well. I'm flat about North, so I'm just flat all the way through, but I'll fire up for the show.
You're naturally flat about North. Like, you had a terrible sporting fandom weekend, didn't you?
I did. I went to a lot of sporting things across the weekend. Even Oscar Piastri crashing out a little bit in the F1, so everything just went downhill.
Yeah, Oscar Piastri gets bogged. Celtic lose to Rangers in a derby.
I was up till like 3 a.m.
North Melbourne lose to the Western Bulldogs. And most importantly, London is red because Arsenal beat your beloved Chelsea.
How are you getting Arsenal on the AFL?
I'm just really just driving the knife into you
Let's
there.
just get back into footy, mate.
Of course, we are brought to you by Tab, and AFL's missed by one. If your disposal leg misses by one, Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Download the Tab app today. What are you really gambling with? So, as said, today's show, it is the Midweek Madness. We have news ticker, winner and loser of the week, some SuperCoach vibes, Thursday night preview, and special guest today from the Courier Mail and Code Sports. It's Callum Dick talking all things Gold Coast and the Brisbane Lions. A lot going on up north at the moment. They're both unbeaten. Before we get going, make sure you follow AFL Today on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. It's AFL Today AU, except for Facebook, where it's Aussie Rules Today. Now on YouTube, make sure you hit that little notifications bell as well as subscribing. So anytime we do a video, it comes up, you get notified, like, hey, the boys have done something, go and watch it there. Let's get into the news ticker, Stats Guy.
Let's do it. News ticker. We can just talk about the MRO and the tribunal for most of it, but we'll start off with an injury, a big injury for the Suns. He's actually, I think, one of the most underrated players in the comp. Suns defender Charlie Ballard is out with an ACL injury. That's brutal. Obviously, they had a really good game last week. He's an important cog to their defense, and that's really, really oh my god, I can't even talk. Brutal there. And then outside of the MRO again, Geelong. I just saw a thing last night. They're interested in Jamara. Geelong are always interested in the outcasts, aren't they? They just want to go after everyone. Jamara will probably go there and win the Coleman somehow.
The world will explode if Jamara ends up at Geelong.
Because they fix a lot of players.
But I think it's past the point now where it's like, if Geelong gets another broken and a player they can fix who's on a big contract, it's like, this isn't right. Like how they're fitting it all in. Like someone's head will explode. Probably Leo's.
Yeah, probably mine. It's just it's a bit sus, all of it, isn't it? It's like when you play Among Us. It's a little bit
sus.
Yeah.
How has he got an Among Us reference in there?
Why not? Why not? It's just like, how do they just keep getting away with this stuff? Like, it's just boring. Like, get bad, John. Get bad.
No, but to be fair, they might not end up like a great pickup, but if they do end up getting him, they just have such a good record of fixing players.
Somehow the Swans will get a trade ban out of this again.
Ooh. Maybe.
Yeah, so Leo gets the gag.
The rest of the news ticker, we'll talk about the MRO. I'll get Leo off the long run, but if he wants. But we've got...
If I want.
If you want to.
No, you got it.
You got to, I think.
He was fired.
I get fired if I don't.
Nah, you've got a tick from the boss. So Jackson Archer, his 3-week ban has been upheld. I was on the side that either
You're on the fence.
No, I'm holding to 1 week. 1 week just because I was a bit careless. Not 3 weeks. 3 weeks is an absolute joke.
Spare me.
Leo,
Stats
what's your
guy,
thoughts
more
on
like
this?
Splinters guy.
I feel like Didier Drogba. That is a disgrace. A disgrace. An absolute disgrace. How is he getting 3 weeks for that? What's he meant to do? Meant to vanish? Is he meant to...
Flip, pole vault.
Yeah, flip over. Pole vault. Actually, don't mind that. An old pole vault.
Bring it out of the pocket.
Bang.
Yeah, why not? Seriously, though, like, it's a fast-paced game of football. What's he meant to do there? Give me one thing he's meant to do.
Just not sprint.
He said
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
This is woke nonsense at its finest.
The game's gone. Is that what you're saying?
Game's gone.
But honestly, there are things, so we can talk about, so Swans accepted Justin McInerney's suspension. They're like, we're not going to waste the 10 grand because we know we can't win. Because McInerney elected to bump when he could have gone the footy and Starcevic got concussed.
Same as Tom Lynch as well.
I'm a Swans fan. I was like, yep, he concussed him, suspended, fine. You had Scrimshaw go the John Bradshaw Layfield clothesline from hell.
Yep.
Concussed a guy.
I'm all for the clothesline.
The swinging arm, you got to get suspended for
the
that.
clothesline, but suspended for the Jackson Archer
Yeah.
incident.
Yeah,
And then Tom Lynch just bumps a guy in the face.
Yeah.
And of course, he might have got pushed, but he still went the bump. In a shock, Tom Lynch decides to hit someone high, pretends to be shocked. Suspension.
Yeah.
What is Jackson Archer honestly meant to do? there are such things as football accidents. We see this all the time in all of the sports that we watch. Sometimes there are coming together of players that are just unavoidable. And it's like, oh, you should have noticed it and decelerated. It's like, yeah, but that's when Clarko rakes him over hot coals and calls him a disgrace to the Archer name for slowing down.
Oh, I don't think it helps him. I said this on the weekend. I don't think it helps him that his last name's Archer, but his dad was dirty, but yeah.
But what happens if Jackson Archer gets his legs broken?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like genuinely...
Does Cleary get suspended for 3 weeks?
No, he couldn't.
It's just a roller coaster. Although I'm on the side of 1 week just because I think it was careless. It is just a roller coaster.
It's either 3 weeks or nothing. It's not.
What do you mean?
It's just nothing. I think
it's 3 weeks or nothing because if you concuss someone and knock them out, and purposefully do it, yes, it's 3 weeks. But if it's a footballing accident where you're charging for the ball, he's charging for the ball, and he goes to ground, like, are we now going to be at the point where in 2 weeks' time, when Mac Andrew takes Mark of the Year on the back of someone's head, but he knees him in the head and knocks him out, is Mac Andrew going to get 3 weeks?
Well, I bloody hope not.
You'll probably give him a week.
No, that's different.
How's that different? Because it's careless. He's jumped on a guy.
But see, that's what I mean. Footballing accident.
He touched the ball. If he's marked it.
Did Jackson Archer touch the ball? No, I was reading the
No, he didn't.
David Zeta's live commentary of it.
I was more worried for him that there was no schnitz on Uber
Yeah, he
Eats.
loves a bit of schnitz, that man.
Yes, true. But I was reading his live comments and I thought Archer defended himself brilliantly.
Okay, there you go.
And the fact that the AFL's like, nah.
Last thing I'll say on it is we needed the Carlton lawyer. Because those Carlton lawyers get him off every single time. Every single damn time.
Or the Collingwood lawyer.
Or the Collingwood lawyer, because if it was Nick Dacos, he would have got off.
I mean, Braden Maynard.
Or Braden Maynard, yeah.
The Tassie mascot.
That's the last one in the news ticker. Oh, my God.
What are we doing?
No, we don't want to scare kids.
Tell you what we're doing.
Do we want to scare kids?
We're going to the bar and we're ordering something with Coke. That's what we're doing.
Oh, rum and Coke.
That's what we're doing right here.
What is he actually? I need to double check that. Why is he named Rumman?
It's something for like scallywag and mischievous. And I've never heard anyone say you're a rumman.
Yeah.
Someone's going to end up calling this thing noodle.
Noodle, yeah.
Ramen noodle.
Yeah, yum.
I actually don't mind that.
It's like,
hungry,
but it's honestly like, go for us or we'll give you nightmares.
Yeah.
That is literally what Tassie are going for. I think I'm coming around to it.
No,
I need to see it
because
again.
it's so terribly bad that I'm on board.
It also looks like a pinata. I saw someone comment that on it looks more like a pinata. Like a kid's gonna get a little bat and hit him rather than give him a hug. Like every other mascot.
No one's gonna hit
him.
Even
the demon looks cute.
As a founding member of the Tasmanian Football Club, and my name's going to be on the wall, I feel like I have a say in this, that it is terrible, but I think I'm on board.
How many? So what do you got? 500,000 founding members.
Yeah.
I reckon at least 450,000 of them are not approving of this mascot.
Yeah.
I low-key like
it.
It looks like a rat.
I think it's so terrible that I'm on board.
No.
It's good. So bad that I like it.
It looks like a creepy rat. It's supposed to be a Tassie.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with it being so terrible it's good.
Nah, come on, boys. Come on. But you're better than that.
Yeah, anyway. All right, after this, we're going to hear from our sponsors and we're going to get to our interview with Callum Dick from Code Sports.
Tonight's game's going to be epic.
Missed by one on the AFL? With Tab, you can stay in the game. Miss by one on any disposals leg, and Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Tab, we're on.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.
All right, in on AFL Today for 2025. We haven't talked to him since the Brisbane Lions won the grand final last year. It's Callum Dick, who's fresh off covering the tribunal and missing a game of beach volleyball last night, but he's good enough to join us today. How are we, Callum?
Anything to see you guys.
That's the nicest thing ever. But all right, I got a great first question to ask. What is worse, the new Gold Coast redesign or the Tasmania's Devils' new mascot?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Well, I'm going to say the mascot because I have to see the Suns regularly, so they probably won't appreciate me saying otherwise. I will say, though, that watching the game on Sunday in WA, it was difficult to actually see the Suns logo on the jersey, but, it is what it is.
Do you like the pink that they're going to wear at Gather Ammo? I love the pink.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Speaking of beach volleyball, I told my teammates we should get some pink Suns merch as our outfits for the events. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can get on board with that.
It looks so good. Just obviously we're touching on Gold Coast. Is there a real buzz and belief around Gold Coast at the moment, winning on the road in their biggest ever win? Do you think there's a lot more belief this year and that first win's going to catapult them throughout the season?
Well, I mean, obviously everyone looks at it and says we need to caveat it with it's against the Eagles.
Yep.
But, yes, there was a lot of things to like about the performance on Sunday. it was only towards the end of last year that they went over there and they lost to the Eagles. So internally, they think this is their year. They think this is the time that they're finally going to get there. And they've been given a great opportunity early. We know that of their away struggles last year, they've got a lot of games on the road to start the year against teams like West Coast, like Richmond, like North Melbourne. So they really should be in a good position. When Sydney comes to town, I think it's round 6 or 7. We should know a bit more about the Suns then. But I think that they should be very bullish about their chances this year.
Yeah, I love that. I'm actually already excited for that Gold Coast Sydney game. That'd be huge.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're a bit worried.
We can't win at the moment. Was the best part of it that they just put the foot to the throat and kept going throughout the game? It wasn't that, we'll just win this by 7 goals. It's like, no, we're going to absolutely kill them.
Well, I mean, early on, it was kind of like, oh, no, here we go again. They dominate around the middle. They dominate the front half, but they couldn't quite put on the scoreboard. But then, sort of second and third quarters, that they did exactly that. And that's something that we've sort of missed from the Suns throughout the years is they've sort of played up and played down to teams' levels at times, and that's left them open to losing games that we didn't think they should do. Again, we caveat it with it's the Eagles, a new coach, et cetera, but this was an impressive performance and a lot of players filled their boots, which will be important when they head to the G next week to face Melbourne.
Absolutely.
I think the best thing from it is noticing the additions of Daniel Rioli and John Noble. It just off halfback. It's just tasty. It's what feels like they've been looking for the best part of 5 years. And then obviously the delivery into King was just sublime all day.
Yeah, I mean, Richmond fans would know what Daniel Rioli produces off halfback. I think sometimes the rest of the competition maybe forgot until they saw him just splitting through the middle. And he obviously has that forward half an ounce as well, having spent time as a forward. He's been a great mentor for some of the younger players as well. Leo Lombard's spoken really highly of actually picking Rioli's brain and learning his forward craft. We won't see Leo for another few weeks with that shoulder injury, but the likes of Lombard and Jake Rogers, who had a great game as well on the weekend, they're benefiting from someone of Rioli's caliber being there. So, yeah, it was, Ben King takes a hanger, kicks 6 goals. Matt Rowell, as Dimmer said, he lamented he's upped his stock value again. Noah Anderson really his form would drop off away from home last year. He had a game-high 36 touches. So, Jared Witts, you were wondering how he was going to go in his age whatever season, and he has 68 hit-outs or something. So, again, we keep saying, there will be sterner tests for them, but they absolutely passed this one with flying colours.
Yeah, I think the only person that was a bit filthy that Witsy did so well is Alex. He loves a bit of Ned Moore. Yeah. We love Ned Moore on the show. He's been on this show before. I don't think he's getting in the side for a while if Witsy's still doing that. On the sort of sad side of it, obviously injury coming out this week is Charlie Ballard out for the rest of the year, which is horrible because that Suns backline is such a good unit. When Mac Andrew comes back, Big Mac that we love on this show, Alex is a big advocate of him playing forward, but because Ballard's out, does he have to play back now, do you think?
He's back Mac now.
Yeah, he probably is.
Yeah, he was always going to be back Mac. I think, particularly with, I guess the other part that was sort of impressive with the performance on the weekend was there was no Jed Walter there because he had to serve his suspension still from the end of last year. So Jed Walter's going to come back into that forward line. So they've got the 3-pronged approach to use up there. So I think Mac will definitely be surplus to requirements, particularly now that they're an extra soldier down. So I think the watch is more so whether someone like Caleb Graham, who hasn't played a game since 2022, whether they want to go with the 3-tall system still. They can't really afford to lose another key back. And, Ballard. Ballard is a major blow for them, really, because he's been down there. He's been so consistent for them for so long. And for it to happen so early in the season as well, they will have to pivot. But they finally have the depth that they haven't had in for years. So hopefully this maybe gives Mac a chance to go to another level.
Yeah. And is he due back this week? Obviously, he went down in the first 90 seconds of that practice match against the Swans. He's due back next week. Obviously, they have the bye by pure virtue of playing one game.
Yeah. So, they'll have training today, so I'll go out and watch that. But they're expecting him to be fit to go. From all reports, he was super keen to play on the weekend. They were just obviously going to WA and then having the bye. They just thought, we'll play it a bit safe with him. Same with Sam Flanders as well. They're hoping he'll come back, and that's a major injection.
That's a huge as
well. So,
very good.
And then obviously Jed Walter will come back in from his suspension. So, there's a bit more bit more to come into.
I'm on board. Let's go.
Yeah,
Gold Coast to the finals. Let's go. I'm all in.
You're all in.
One win. Let's move, obviously, up the highway towards the Lions. Big win on the road on the weekend against the Swans. Obviously, what is it? The Cyclone coming through. Couple of injuries. We had Charlie Cameron laid out. We had Kyle Lohman go down. Starcevic is hurt too. And obviously Sam Day with the passing of his father as well. Like, how is that just as a starting point for the Lions? Yes, the Swans have their own issues as well, but all of that, they've still come out on top.
Well, we heard Chris Fagan say it was one of the best wins that he's been involved in at the club. Yeah. And when you put it through the lens of a cyclone and the fact that they couldn't do any training for 4 days, and there was a lot of players who weren't thinking about footy over the weekend because they were worried about their homes and about their families, etc. So I think it was really important for them to actually go down to Sydney earlier. Like, they made that call to go down earlier just so they could flip that switch and go into football mode a bit earlier than they would have if they'd flown down on Friday. To lose Cameron just before first bounce, to lose Lohman early, to lose Starcevic like they did. No Sam Day, who'd been training, in that role all pre-season. And every man and his dog knew that the Swans were going to come because they've had all off season to stew on the grand final, and we've heard about they spent an hour dissecting the first minute of the grand final, etc., etc. So they're always going to come. So it was a cracking game. I know it was probably more the grand final that we hoped we saw last year, but it was definitely, given that the Swans had already played a game as well, it was a great performance from Brisbane.
Yeah, absolutely. We had Levi Ashcroft, obviously really strong debut. All the hype is that he's going to be better than Will Ashcroft. What's your thoughts on that? And surely he can't be the sub in the future. I still see rumours. In my Supercoach side, I want to get him back in my Supercoach side. Get off the sub. You can't put a young guy like that's in a gun as the sub. But do you think he can be better than Will, his brother?
It's a Norm Smith.
It's a big call.
Yeah,
it's a big call given I think Will also polled 3 Brownlow votes in his second or third game.
He did,
as well. So to say he's going to be better than Will after one game is a big call. Obviously, I mean, the kid had 25 touches on debut in a grand final rematch away from home. So
pretty good.
Everyone knows, everyone's seen, the Lions know better than anyone what he's capable of. I think given Lohman's gone down, Cameron goes back in, it would be tough to see him as the sub again. But also maybe the player who was at risk of being demoted would have been Zach Bailey, and then he goes out and kicks 4 goals and for the first time in 2 years. So it is telling the depth of this team that someone like Levi Ashcroft, we're even still having the conversation that he might still be the sub after the performance he put in, purely because just of how deep they bat, I should say.
Yeah. Every position, there's just like 3 guns. It's crazy.
Well, they've also got a couple of people to come back. And I want to talk about, we've got people coming off knee injury. So obviously Tom Duday is meant to come back later this year, but Link McCarthy, horrendously goes down with another ACL injury. But he's trying a radical thing with his patella tendon to be back, hopefully in time for finals.
Really?
Now, 160 days is the aim. Now, are we a yay or nay on this that he will be able to get it back? Because it seems, is he in a final year of his contract as well? So that's why he's pushing really hard.
Yeah, look, I'm no surgeon, so I can't speak on timelines, etc. But I mean, we've seen it with Tyson Goldsack and obviously Doherty at Carlton. Last year as well, sort of came back within the season. So it's been shown to be possible. And I mean, after his ACL last year, the Lions quietly gave him a 1-year contract extension so that he didn't have to worry about that. But I'm not sure that that'll come again, given he's done the injury again. So it really is a make or break for Link. He's much loved member of the playing group, and everyone was really disappointed to hear that news. So I think for him it is just a case of a last roll of the dice, to use some football parlance, and really just try and go all in and get himself back. Because we also have to think that even if he does get back and he's fit in time, he hasn't played any football. So it would probably also require, touch wood, for some injuries in the forward half for him to get a game. So this really is just a case of, I'm just going to go all out, see what I can do, because, otherwise it might be my career over.
Yeah. And Tom Duday, once he due back, obviously will add a lot to that Brisbane backline if he is to get in, but he has missed nearly 2 years of footy now.
Yeah, 5 to 6 weeks, I think, from memory. So he'll be tracking nicely. And, I mean, he's the same one that happened to McCarthy. He was due to come back before the Easter Thursday game last year and then redid his ACL in the session beforehand. So, the Lions have had a lot of knees and they're getting a lot of learnings, as Chris Fagan likes to say, about how to handle them. So I think with Duday as well, it'll depend on how fit the rest of the backline is, obviously, with the Starcevic stuff, whether he's only misses a week or they decide to put him on ice for a bit longer to make sure he's okay, because it's obviously he's one of their most important players. So, I think 5 to 6 weeks is the timeline for Duday, but they'll make sure that he is absolutely ready to go. They won't take any chances there.
And you did mention Starcevic. Is it? It's the wrong way. It is concerning now that he's sort of had a couple of concussions in quick succession. Obviously, had one last year. Is it to the point where the Lions may put him on ice for like what the Swans did with both McCartans, give him maybe a month to completely get over everything, because it's the quick concussions in succession that are the biggest worry?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 in 2 weeks, right? So he was going to miss the Geelong game and then didn't, because it didn't go ahead, and now he's been concussed again. So they're definitely. Hugh McCluggage spoke at training yesterday. He's concerned. The Lions are concerned for him. As I said, that he's an important player for their system, but first and foremost, he's a popular figure at the club, and they want to make sure that they're not going to be throwing him in before he's ready. So, whether or not he obviously has the concussion protocols, so he can't play this weekend, and they'll go and they're going to do extra tests and see where things land. So, the Lions will make the best call for Starcevic, whether that's just the 1 week or it's 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever it is. I mean, it's. I think concussion campaigner Peter Jess says that after you get 3 knocks, it starts to get a bit scary. So, Starcevic have had 3 in 8 months, so they need to do everything right.
Yeah. Last one from me. Just last season, I think we talked to you about it. We went full Joe Danaher. Obviously, he's retired. We won't ever hear from him ever again.
Never.
We probably never will. But this year, Alex is on the bandwagon of gone full hippie. Do we think Eric Hipwood can fire up this season? Because obviously, he's the main forward down there now.
I think I'm off after one game, to be
I know,
honest.
it's only one game, but can he fire up, you reckon, Callum?
Well, look, if there's any team that we saw what Ben King did to the Eagles. So if there's any team to play Eric Hipwood into form, it's probably the Eagles this weekend.
True,
but I mean, if you ask Alistair Lynch, he thinks that the Lions should just give him the Danaher role and play Hipwood up the ground a little bit more. So it depends. That they're going to be learning how this forward line functions without Danaher for a while now, and obviously they haven't been able to get Sam Day in the mix. Whether or not he comes back this week, he's been at training, but we'll see if he deems himself and the club deems himself fit to play. But as for Hipwood, I watched him in the community series game against the Crows. He kicked 3 goals and he moved he moved really well for someone that had only just come back from a groin injury that had sort of been hampering him. So I don't think he has the ceiling of Danaher, but if they give him the keys to the forward line and he sort of gets a bit of confidence up again, he is very skillful for a tall guy. So his field kicking is fantastic, like Danaher.
Yep.
I mean, it's just a wait and see, really. But they'll give him every opportunity. And I think the beauty of this Brisbane forward line is they don't need one person probably to kick 65, 70 goals. Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
And just finally, overall predictions. Obviously, we saw all of your predictions throughout the summer through Code Sports and the Courier Mail, but we've had one game, so now we can, if you want to change your tune, well, Gold Coast winning away is a big change. What are the thoughts on both Queensland teams this year? Like Gold Coast finals, Lions top 4. Like where are we thinking they're going to finish up?
Yeah. I mean, I've got to stick up. I have to beat the drum for Queensland footy. So I think I've picked the Suns to make finals the last 3 or 4 years or something ridiculous. So if you throw enough darts, it has to stick eventually, right? I do think that this is their best opportunity. They bat the deepest. They've had another year under Hardwick. So, but there's going to be a lot of teams that didn't play finals last year that are going to be improving. So, but I think the Suns can make it, particularly with their sort of softer draw early on with the away games. The Lions, I mean, top 4, top 2. Yep. I mean, they haven't shown us anything to suggest otherwise. The big question is forward of centre without Danaher, but they've got young Ty Gallup was rucking in the VFL on the weekend, so they're already maybe looking at him filling that role eventually. Will McLaughlin, who was their rookie draftee, kicked 4 goals in the VFL as well. So they've just got forwards coming out of their ears basically in Brisbane.
It must be nice.
Yeah, I know.
I think they'll be fine, yeah.
All right. That's been Callum Dick from the Courier Mail and Code Sports. You can find all of his stuff there, of course, all across social media as well. Doing great stuff for Queensland footy. Thanks, Callum.
Thanks, Callum.
Thanks, gents. Always a pleasure.
All right, big shout out to Callum Dick for joining us today. Unfortunately, has to get back on the M1 once again. That man spends more time on the road than he does at work, unfortunately. But anyway, let's get into the midweek winners and losers of the week. Stats, man.
Yeah, we'll start off with winners. We've been talking about this. Sammy Lawler, he's obviously wins the Rising Star and a possibility of a Bonds underwear deal.
I wonder why.
Why. Hopefully they got some nice tight jocks at Bonds there, so that'd be nice for him there. But
It's a bit weird stuff.
Yeah.
no, that is not weird. That is exactly what happened on the weekend.
It's a little weird.
If I was 2XU, I would have been ringing him saying, hey, man, you want like free skins for life?
He is obviously not a skins man. I don't think he's wearing skins.
Mate, anti-chafers, put them
We
on.
all wear skins.
Righto.
Oh my god, he's wearing
It's a Nelson Muntz gag.
That is so weird. But yeah, I think he's well deserved winning the Rising Star Award because he won
Really?
He won. He partly won in the game.
Whereas
you look at all-
Ashcroft has 25 on debut in a grand final
but
rematch.
Lawler's
Murphy
like-
Reid kicks 4 in
Nah.
7 minutes.
But Murphy Reid did it in a 70-point loss.
Yeah, exactly. Lawler kicked one of the clutch goals. He second to Seth Campbell's goal, I'd say.
Yeah.
It was just great, and there was so much pressure on Richmond. He helped
Hashtag
carry
Vic
them over
bias.
one. So I'm happy
What
with
was
that.
Hashtag Vic bias.
Big
Hashtag
bias.
Vic
Oh,
bias.
here we go. They won the game.
Next week we're gonna have just every week a Vic player get the Rising Star.
Yeah,
That's my
someone
goal.
from the D's will get it this
What's
week.
it? Levi Ashcroft.
Xavier Lindsay, actually.
In fairness, no one will ever beat the Swans 3 weeks in a row, 3 players. No one will ever beat that.
That is pretty
Yeah.
wild. Yeah. That is wild.
Yeah.
You got some good young guys.
It was great.
Losers, because there wasn't too many winners during the week. We'll go to losers. Obviously, Jackson Archer. He's filthy. He wants to play this week. The fact that he's not playing for 3 more weeks, that's brutal.
Your club also wasting 10 grand.
You almost had him in a winner though, because he should have got 1 week.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I wrote in the winners last night. Tribunal guys getting off because I thought of 1 or 2 might get off,
No
and I've
chance.
absolutely jinxed.
can't
the crap
believe
out
you
of
had
it.
the faith in that.
I know. I had faith, but I shouldn't have had faith in the MRO. And then loser, just MRO in general, just because I feel like it's just a roller coaster at the moment. You don't know what you're going to get.
No, it's you knock someone out, you're going to get suspended. That's
well,
what we're 2 for 2.
What did you hear about Jimmy Bartel?
Jimmy
before the show?
Bartel?
Here we
Actually, I
go.
forgot about
This is groundbreaking.
I'm trying to remember
insight
what,
right here.
what did he say?
Oh,
He said that the past problems in the AFL where they didn't deal with concussion properly
Yeah.
are now being handed down to the current players, and they're copying the brunt of it because back in the day, obviously they didn't
Rub some
deal.
dirt on it, boy.
Yeah, it was that, which is really stupid, but we didn't have all the science and knowledge behind it. But now, any concussion, even if it's accidental or things like that, the players are really copping it now because of the past indiscretions.
Toby Bedford got off for when he concussed, what's his name? Tim
Yeah.
Taranto. So
Yeah.
there are ways.
The only
to
way
get
I'll
them
be
off.
on board with this is if it's like just blank, like if you concuss someone, you're out. I don't like that, but at least we got some consistency because last year we had no
There's
consistency.
footballing acts and non-footballing acts.
Yeah, you
so-
say that, but then in 2 weeks' time, someone will do something similar,
And then they
get
won't-
a
yeah.
week or no week.
No, I know.
And then we're up in arms, and
Not wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
We'll just have MRO bingo every week.
Yeah, not wrong. Last one in the losers, I just said the Tassie Devils aura. I know you guys are on board.
I don't
with
think
the
it has
mascot.
aura.
Nah,
but
they're losing aura from a
It
mascot.
doesn't have aura, but
Mate, they don't even have any. They've got a CEO and a mascot and Jack Rewalt pumping him up. There's not much going on there at the moment.
Adam Ruse still has more aura than the Tassie Devils. That's for sure.
No,
No, you're not on board with that.
I love the rat.
Yeah.
You love the rat? Oh wow.
I don't like Ballarat though.
Anyway,
It's too
that's the winners and losers. We had more losers. I think we're gonna have more losers most weeks than winners, but yeah, a few losers this week.
All right, let's get into the Thursday night footy preview.
Yes.
Thursday night footy. Carlton take on Hawthorn, 7:30 at the MCG. Carlton are $3. Richmond $1.40. The line is 16.5. Give us some stats guy.
Yeah, I'm going that line. I think Carlton were, as you would say, Alex, insipid last week. They were horrible with that comeback Richmond had. Hawthorn 2-0. They're absolutely flying. So I'm going that 16.5 line at $1.90 with Tab. I really, really like that line. Even if that changes to a bit more over the next sort of day or so, I'm really keen on that Hawthorn at the line. The Hawks have won their last 7 matches at the G. They're flying at the MCG. We saw them on Friday night. That wave they can play on that big ground, just kicking like Amon, a few other guys. I think I need Massimo to step up a little bit. Just a few multis on the weekend. But other than that, they just look really, really crisp. The Blues have actually won 3 of the last 4 of this matchup, but I'm really keen on the Hawks.
It was also like Hawthorn weren't great until like round 8 last year and had
that's
2
true.
years of bad before that too.
That is true. So they were, are you talking about the Blues 3 of the last 4 there? Yeah.
No, that's Hawthorn weren't great the last couple of years till about round 7 last year, and then Carlton have been kind of good.
That's true. That's true. But I'm happy to back the Hawks. They've passed the line, covered the line.
There we go.
They've covered the line in 6 of their last 7 throughout the regular season, last season as well. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the Hawks at the line.
Over-under is 166.5. I'm going to take the under here. Just watching Carlton last week, I'm just like, nah. Seeing Josh Battle just do his thing back there. Tom Barras, Sicily, Weddle. Yeah, good luck scoring, Carlton. I know Charlie Curnow's back, but he's first up off a slight knee concern. Nah, not for me. I'll take the under. Hawthorn will get the job done, though. Yeah,
surely Hawks get the job done. I got a player pick as well in there, Alex. I'm loving the player picks, especially on the Thursday night games. I'm going Dylan Moore. He looked absolutely awesome last week. He was everywhere, especially in the clutch moments. I'm going to go 20 plus disposals and for him to kick a goal. He's got that in his last couple of games. He had multiple, I think he had two goals last game. Well, 3, sorry, in the end because he kicked one late as well. So he had 3 goals last game just to kick 1 goal. Easy for him. And then 20 plus disposals, $2.30 with Tab, which I really like.
If we're doing a rolling All-Australian team, like as in from round 1, when we pick an All-Australian team, Dylan Moore is
he's almost the first picked at the moment.
He's not first picked, but he's in the team for sure.
He's pretty damn
on a
good.
half-forward flank.
Anyway, that's my little player multi there.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.
All right, let's get to the tips and margins. I'll go off first here. Hawthorn by 17. I think we see a bit of a response from Carlton here, but in the end, Hawthorn do edge it out and they go into their bye 3-0, and they've got a bit of a break before they take on the Giants.
Ooh, Leo?
Yeah, I think Hawthorn by about 15 points. I think Carlton will definitely respond after that embarrassing
It's one of those ones where they're going to put the hand out and it's when your little cousin is trying to swing at you and like they're going, oh, come on, I can hit you. And you're like, nah. Yeah. And you're just keeping them just far enough at bay. You're never really in danger.
So do you guys think that Carlton are going to put up a better performance than Essendon last week?
I think it'll
Similar.
be
I don't know about that.
similar, but maybe better because teams after getting embarrassed like that with the media breathing down their neck always come out firing the next week. Hawthorn will just have too much pace for them. That's my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Because of the pace, because of the skill, I think Carlton, they're going to take a couple more weeks. As you said before, Alex, Charlie Curnow's coming back. They've got to figure out their forward line a little bit. So I'm going to go Hawks by 25. I think they'll do this pretty comfortably and it'll be like that 20-point margin all the way through.
All right. Okay, let's have a look at the SuperCoach vibes, trades, and must-haves this week. You two are the bigger SuperCoach guys than I, but I've seen a lot of, scuttlebutt about Harry Perryman.
Scuttlebutt? Who says that?
Spell it.
It's pretty easy to spell.
SCUTTLEBUTT.
I don't even know if that's right. I've never seen that written down anywhere.
Nice.
Bang.
Nice.
Stay the course with Harry Perryman. Don't jump off after 1 week.
Jump off.
He was good in round 1. He had a weird role last week.
It's true.
Let's go again one more time.
What if you never had him like this
fellow? If you don't have him, then you don't need to pick him up.
Okay.
If you've got him, keep him. Don't jump off yet. Like, who have they got this week? They've got the Dogs, him running off half back against the Dogs. It's going to be end-to-end football all night. I think he can rack up some points there. And then for the Swans, Ben Payton is one that a lot of people are sort of looking at going,
no, I don't mind him.
You've got to wait on the team selection because he's got a negative break even this week. So even if he is the sub, given that obviously Justin McInerney's been suspended and Lewis Melican's gone down with injury, I think he'll hold for one more game. If he has a poor performance, he'll drop, but you'll get some cash gen and you can get rid of him and then
get Fried Bison. He's 20k.
That's what I mean. Then you can flip him to Fried Bice with the cash gen because Bice has only played the second game this week.
Favorite nickname this season, absolutely. For SuperCoach, you can look at Frasier. I saw him up close on the weekend.
The TV show?
That's a great show. Yeah, I forgot about that show.
How does that theme song go again?
Oh, I cannot remember. I've got
it in my head, but I don't want to embarrass myself.
Oh, you haven't done that before?
No, never.
But yeah, Frasier, he looked really good for the Dogs. Obviously, you got Richards, but there's a few Dogs midfielders a little bit more expensive. You get Frasier around that 300k mark, and he looks to have that 100-point mark just locked in. So I'm jumping on in, and I'm trying to get Levi Ashcroft back in my side because I feel like everyone thought he could be the sub.
Well, no, they said he was going to be the sub.
They said he was going to be the sub, and then he obviously got 25 disposals and killed it. So I'm going to try and get him back in my side.
Not bad. My current trades at the moment, pending team selection. Langford, Palpepper, Neil out for Rosie, Corey Warner, and Xavier Lindsay. That's
I reckon keep Neil. It's just a 1 week on.
Going 3 trades.
Neil has a break even of 200. I just can't, bro.
Yeah.
I hope he gets 200 this week.
He's not going to. Oh, wait, they're playing West Coast.
They're playing West Coast. He could get 200.
Do they have a tagger? They don't.
I keep it because
did you see their midfield last week? Noah Anderson had 36.
If he gets 150, you'll take that.
I could just do Palpepper to Langford to the 2 rookies.
I'm not going to make a trade this week. I'm going to stay the course and hold off. I'm going to
that's bold.
Play a little bit risky early on.
I respect that.
I'm gonna hope that Ben Payton does play for the Swans, and I think he's the only.
I think he will, right?
It's also best 18 this week, which is handy.
So I'm gonna hold it. Ben Payton's break even is -36. So even if he gets 30 or 40 points,
fine,
you get 40 grand.
Beautiful.
And then that'll be just the quick flip to fried bice.
In real life? In real life? 40 grand.
40
No.
grand.
I tell you what,
Imagine
I'd love
whatever you-
40 grand. Who are you going to captain just quickly? Any quick thoughts?
Probably Gornicus.
Who's Cherry up against this week? Oh, no, it's against Gorn.
Yeah, Cherry
I'm
and
going to
Gorn.
stay away from them. I might go Sarong or who do we say?
Sarong's going to get tagged by Jordan, mate.
Oh, yeah, they're playing Sydney. I don't know. I'll have a think about it, but possibly Gorn. Is not a bad
Jordan
shout.
Dawson against the Bombers.
Whoa, that's ballsy.
Yep, Jordan Dawson. All right. I think that's us for today here on AFL Today for the Midweek Madness. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe to AFL Today on YouTube. Just a reminder, please hit that notifications bell and subscribe. So anytime we do any videos, there's a lot of content going out at the moment. You will receive it in your notifications tab on your phone or via email. Now, make sure to follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more footy content all season long. It's AFL Today AU on everything but Facebook, which is Aussie Rules Today. Now, make sure you subscribe and star, as well as liking all of our shows on your favourite podcast app as well. So we got cricket today, moving into the IPL, so a little bit quieter at the moment.
Yep.
AFLW today, which is in the process of planning for 2025 season. Hold all tickets. Golden Slipper this weekend. It is a massive weekend of racing coming up and over the next few weeks if you enjoy your horse racing there. And the boys at True Bloods as well. They were in the studio last night pumping out some good content for sure. And Honest Beers with Worley and Leggy. They've been doing a bunch at the moment as well. Thank you to Leo for jumping on.
Ta-ta. Thank you.
Thank you, Stats Guy.
Are you all right, mate? Thank you.
Ta-ta, Tatiana. And of course, Gerald behind the camera and Callum Dick for joining us today as well. Thank you to our sponsors, Tab, and their AFL's Missed by One. If your disposals leg misses by one, Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Download the Tab app today. What are you really gambling with? The boys will catch you tomorrow night for the Thursday teams preview for everything round 2 in the AFL. I can't wait. They'll catch you then.
Tonight's game's going to be epic.
Missed by one on the AFL? With Tab, you can stay in the game. Miss by one on any disposals leg, and Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Tab. We're on.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.